Hi friends, it's Sarah, the owner and maker behind Multifarious Nature. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are a new viewer, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, huge welcome back. I'm so glad you guys are here and spending a little of your wonderful time with me this week. So, get into my works in progress right away because, yeah, we didn't have any shop update end of things, other than there's a lot of fun colors in the shop still, so definitely check out the website. And I hopefully will be dyeing up new yarn soon. I just haven't had a chance yet. Been doing a lot of admin end of things. So I'm wearing my Alpen Glow sweater. The pattern is designed by Andrea Mowry, and it is mainly using wool from local Michigan mill, Stonehenge Fiber Mill. And then I, of course, have some Multifarious Nature yarn, which is this beautiful colorway. It's called Stardust. And yes. So, on my, alpaca base. Anyway, this is my second time recording this because my computer went, I don't even know what my computer was doing, but it went haywire on me and just turned off. So that was really bizarre. So hopefully it'll behave this time around. Oh, okay. So my first work in progress is my Big Cozy Cardi by another Andrea Mowry pattern because I absolutely love her patterns. And this is using my chestnut colorway on my 100% Peruvian Highland wool base. So, of course I'm mid-row because it's massive, but I've made huge progress. This is basically what I work on my lunch breaks still. And outside of that, it is so relaxing. It is absolutely the most blissful knitting, I have to tell you. I say it's gonna take forever to get through, but I honestly am enjoying every second of it. So you can see I've made progress. Definitely have made progress. Yeah, I have a ways to go, that's for sure. I have definitely got a ways to go, but it's getting there. It's getting there. I think I'm around at least the midway point. If I'm not at the midway point, I'm like right there. Right there. So I'm making this massive triangle because I'm going to make that Big Cozy Cardi, which is like wearing a blanket. And this has been so wonderful to knit on in my car because it's so cold these days. Actually, I kind of kidding because Tuesday and Wednesday it was, or Monday and Tuesday, it was like 50 degrees. It was wonderful and so warm. And I saw a robin and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's springtime. And then it snowed and the temperature dropped back down to the 30s, and that's degrees Fahrenheit. And then it was 19 degrees last night Fahrenheit, and it's snowing again right now. It's snowing. So we haven't gotten a lot of snow the past couple days, just a couple inches, but it's crazy. Anyway, so I'm working through this and absolutely loving it. So yes, if you guys are looking for a really fun textured stitch patterning that is so wonderful, and now it's to the point where it's like wearing a little blanket as I'm knitting in the car, which is so great. It's so great. So yeah, that's primarily what I've been working on this week. I'm not even gonna pretend and sugarcoat it. So I also have this much left of that main skein, and as I said before, I'm gonna have the collar be this beautiful autumn kiss. So it's that kind of, oh, it's gonna be so pretty. I feel like this color will look amazing on everybody. I swear. I guarantee it will. I just know it. But anyway, this is what I've got left of my second skein that I've been working with. So I'm about midway point. So I'm definitely going to, I have more over here for this sweater that I'm going to actually cake up another one and put in the bag because I don't want to run out and not have another skein. So get that ready for the next one. And then the other project I've been working on primarily is my brick sweater. Brick sweater! This one is the second version I've made because the first one I made way too big and I just didn't wear it enough because it was way too big. So I ripped it out so I could use this beautiful wool. But this time I am holding it double with this pretty coral colorway. It's kind of corally. It's kind of coral-like with little flecks of other colors in it. And it's making this beautiful marled effect. So you can see I finished the one sleeve. The sleeves now are actually going to be to my wrist here, similar to the fit of this actual sweater. Very similar fit. So I know I'm going to wear it a lot more. So, and it's a different thickness, this wool, but I think it looks really fun. Nice contrast, just very subtle. and that'll be on the collar as well. And then when I get the other sleeve done, which I worked on the sleeve quite a bit this week, when I finally finish this sleeve, then I will have it on that cuff as well. If I have extra, I'll do the bottom ribbing in it as well, but I don't think I'm going to, and I kind of always like having the bottom be solid or dark, just because I feel like it looks more flattering on me at least. So I don't know. I think I'm going to do just the brown all the way down for the body. This is a fun pattern if you're looking for a good semi-beginner friendly raglan pattern. I say it's pretty beginner friendly for the most part, but it's a very basic pattern, so she doesn't like do a lot of hand holding. So I don't know if it's necessarily a beginner pattern. Take it with a grain of salt, you guys. All right, and I'm just rattling through this so quick because I don't want to. This pin keeps falling off though. I don't know what the deal is. I gotta find the back piece. I'm throwing it everywhere. Okay, anyway, I'm housing it in this little project bag. For those of you that are from the Michigan area or have gone to the Michigan Fire Festival, this was from Michigan Fire Festival last year. And got this super cute pin. It says, "You have bewitched me, body and soul, Mr. Darcy." Yes, one of my favorite Jane Austens. I think I have literally watched every movie version of that story. Pride and Prejudice, for those of you that are not familiar. Excellent. I particularly like the Keira Knightley version. I've seen so many of them, but I really like it. The music is beautiful, the scenery is beautiful, the costuming, everything is just beautiful. I just love it. I've watched it so many times, and it just makes me smile every single time, and I love it in the background while I'm knitting. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. Anyway, I'm flying through this now. Now I've done it. This is my second time. This is going to be a short video. Okay. The last project I worked on, very little. Barely counts, but I did work on it. I think I did maybe 2 rows. Maybe 2 rows. So this is What Tomorrow Brings, Advent knitting with the Suburban Stitcher Advent Calendar. And, oh, this is the wrong side, so it's not as attractive as the front. Let me see if I can show you the front. So you can kind of, oh my gosh, you guys, this is so funky looking right now. But I'm working down the triangle section here, and I'm getting into, there's some cabling going on, which is a tedious little cable, but I'm getting through it. I've got these cute little stitch stoppers that I got, I don't know if I told you about that, from my local yarn store. I live near Holland, Michigan, hence the tulips. But very slowly working through this, and I kid you not, I literally think I did 2 rows. Yeah, little progress, very little. But I also wanted to show you guys these cute stitch markers. So I got these stitch markers, and so my local yarn store had massive clearance. They do a clearance at the end of the year every year, and they had just a couple of the, I'm trying to remember the name of this Advent. It's a stitch marker Advent. I'm sorry, I do not remember the maker's name of it. It's bad of me. But if you just look up stitch marker Advent, it comes in a little box. Like, we punch it each day, like the old candy ones, kind of like that. But they're stitch markers, and there's some of them are so random. It was the most random Advent. So, like this. This literally on this day said just because, and it's Pac-Man. Oh my gosh. Such a child of the 80s and 90s. And then, of course, got a little button. And I've got a little ruler on this one. I have a bunch more. A bunch. Here we go. The little ruler. But I have a bunch more different little stitch markers, and they're absolutely adorable. They come with really nice, big sized circles for, gosh, I'd say at least up to size 15 needle. Or, not 15 needle, a size 10 needle, no problem. Absolutely no problem, they're huge. But anyway, I'm using my Chogus, and this is my really wonky progress. If you look at this thing, Gosh, you guys, because it's folded in half and it just looks crazy right now. Because I'm mid-row. Again, I'm always mid-row. I really should get better about it, but I really just sit down and record when I can, and this is what happens. Most everything's mid-row, always. But I'm quite enjoying I quite enjoyed my Suburban Stitcher Advent Calendar. It was a lot of fun, and it's actually being housed. I'm in this beautiful basket that I got from, again, the Michigan Fiber Festival last year. I think, I can't remember the name of the booth. There's actually quite a few booths usually at any fiber festival. There's usually someone who has these beautiful bulga, I think they're called like market baskets. And they're grass baskets. You just get them wet and then you can kind of like change their shape and get them shaped. But absolutely love this massive one. I put actually this project, so my Advent in there, and I also had my brick sweater in there too. I'm just like trying to keep all my projects right there next to the couch so I can just work on them every night, a little bit here and there as I am able to. And it's absolutely wonderful. So I'm trying so hard not to cast on another project because I want to get these done before I do that. But it's been I'm chomping at the bit a little bit because one, I'm looking at the beautiful unspun yarn that it's from New to Den that I purchased at their, I think, one update prior to their end of year update. I think that's what it was. I really would like to use that wool, but I think I'm going to save it until winter of this next winter because I always like to work with unspun during the winter. It's absolutely amazing. But my next project that I really would like to work on is this one. I've showed you guys this before. It is the Miles shirt jacket, and I want to use my hand spun that I've made. I know I showed you guys this before. So this is my very first ever fleece that I hand washed and carded and processed, and it is a Cotswold fleece. So this one is not too terrible, but a couple of the skeins definitely lean more towards rope because I twisted the daylights out of them, but I had the whole fleece, and so I do want to make something with it. It's a little bit more on the prickly side. Cotswold is not the softest wool. It could also be because of how I spun it. I'm not going to deny that, but to me it does not seem to be the softest wool. It's definitely more of a super rustic, rough and tumble, but would make an excellent outerwear garment. So that's why I want to use that as my base for the Miles shirt jacket. And then I also want to use, I have some Gotland that I was working with, and I want to use that as like the colors, I think, maybe collar and cuff, or, excuse me, goodness, I'm so tired. I haven't been sleeping very well this week, so sorry guys, you're getting the brunt of my lack of sleep. But yes, and actually the Gotland color is very similar to this oatmeal color. So yeah, I'm really excited about working on that, and sometime in the very near future, like this is, I just literally need to finish something so that I can work on it because I want to work on it so bad. If you have not, if you're not a spinner or you don't do spinning, I totally understand. I totally understand. But if you do, if you are a spinner but you haven't ever knit with your hand spun, oh my gosh, I've only done it once. I made a pair of Andrea Mowry's DRK Everyday socks with my my second ever hand spun. It was a llama blend with some fun like stuff in it, and it's so soft. But it didn't have a lot of like really durable bits in there. It didn't have nylon or anything like that, and I wore a hole in that sock after wearing it for a couple days, which is really a shame. I wore it like every day for a couple days. So I do need to, one, repair that, and then I also need to either blend a different fiber with it when I make, because I have another batch of that llama. The other thing is I could make it a 3-ply, because I only made it a 2-ply, and that also could be my issue. So if I make it a 3-ply, I feel like I might be in a better place with the durability. I don't know. If you guys do spin and you have well, if you've worked with llama, but if you haven't worked with llama and you've made wool or yarn for your socks, you've spun up yarn for socks, please share your knowledge below. I would really love to know like what you've done, if it worked for you, because that was a shame, to wear it 3 times and have it wear a hole in it. I was so sad because they're so comfortable and warm, but it is what it is. I'm still glad that I wore them. I'm still glad that I made them, but it's just sad to me that they didn't last that long. So yes, please share your knowledge. I do know that this will be more durable because the staple length of this wool is a lot longer. And staple length, for you that are not familiar with spinning, is the length of the actual fiber. Like the staple is like if you plucked a piece of hair out of your head, that would be your like staple length, right? So the staple length of like Cotswold is usually a couple inches, like almost, I think this one was 4 or 5 inches, and the llama was like, oh my word, maybe 2.5. It was very, very, very small, which is not a big deal, but when you spin it, it gets shorter and you have to overlap, so for strength. So it becomes a lot harder to make it overlapped. It makes it harder to make it stronger. With this, you can overlap it pretty easily, and yeah, I like to do the woolen spun, so it's fluffier, and I usually card my wool. I do not have a set of combs. I've debated getting a set of combs because I don't know, I just am curious about having another method of processing wool. However, I do question doing that because I've worked with certain comb tops that I just don't like the way it spins up. I don't know what it is. It's like, but see, I don't do worsted. I think it's worsted. Is it worsted spinning? I'm like drawing a blank all of a sudden. But basically, the way you spin it, less air is trapped in there, so it makes it a much smoother yarn, much shinier, usually better drape. That I tend to do woolen spun so that it's fluffier and it's more like, it has the characteristics of the wool. So it is sometimes more prickly, it's bouncy, it has the air trapped in it, so it's very warm. I feel like it's warmer than the other way of spinning, but I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm a very new spinner. I am not even going to pretend like I know everything. That's for sure. I don't. I do not. But anyway, yeah, I really want to work with that hand spun. Really bad. I don't know what it is. See, it's this cold weather. The cold weather makes me want to work with woolly goodness. Woolly wool goodness. So what are you guys up to? What are you working on? I'd love to hear about it. Are you doing any spinning or knitting, crochet? What patterns are you working on? Please share below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. I always love hearing from you. It means so much. And if you haven't done so yet, definitely feel free to subscribe. And if you hit the bell, you'll be notified when new videos are posted. I do try to post weekly for the most part. Sometimes the week gets away from me and I don't do it, but I really try to do it weekly. Or if there's a holiday, that usually throws me off too. But yeah, other than that, as I said, I'll get into the life updates and stuff. It's been a busy week. Oof. It's been chilly and cold. Oh my word. But like I said, it's been a weird, it was like in the 50s, and then all of a sudden it dropped again. And it was cold and creepy and cold. And it's snowing again, which for February in Michigan is very normal. I mean, it's normal to be actually very cold and dismal here in February. but I think we just got a taste of it because I think I mentioned it. I saw a robin on Tuesday, I think, and it was like 50 degrees, and there was a robin, and it had rained, and it smelled so good out, and the grass was really green looking, and I got excited. I thought, oh, spring is here. Silly me. I mean, it's way too early for spring in Michigan, but it felt like it. It really did. But on top of the whole idea of spring, so for those of you that are new, you may not know this, but my husband and I and our two dogs, we semi-recently, well, we moved, now it's been probably almost 8 months, which is wild. Gosh, time goes by quick. But we moved to the country, and I grew up an hour north of Chicago. So I'm not a country person, but I'm getting bit by the bug. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's so peaceful. It is like about 25 minutes from work. So it's like it's like the perfect place. You know, I don't want to get upset. Like, I don't want to get emotional, but really it's pretty amazing. And yeah, and so we have 2 ducks. They're absolutely adorable. A male and female duck, and she lays eggs, so we do have eggs, which is awesome. And we had some chickens. I don't know if I mentioned this. I think I just like avoided it. Just shouldn't. I shouldn't avoid it. It's the way life is, right? So we had chickens, and then there was a really sad incident that happened because we live out in the country, and a critter got in, and unfortunately the critter did kill the chickens that we had. We only had 2 chickens, and they didn't make it. So it's really, really sad because they were really sweet birds. They were so sweet, and I really liked them. So I mean, I think I took it the hardest out of all of us. But anyway, on a happy note, we are, is fortifying the right word? We are building a more equipped home for the birds. It is going to be a huge place for them to be, and it has plenty of room. We're going to get more chickens, and our goal is to have a couple more chickens than we had before because we'll have the room for them. And then we do free range, so we let them just wander around the property. Well, we're actually looking at doing like semi-free range, so we are building a really large chicken run that's attached to their little house so that they really don't ever have to leave. It'll have a door that we can walk in and out of. I mean, it's going to be big. It's big. It is, yeah, huge. So that's what we've been working on because I think this next week a lot of the local areas will have the chicks for sale, and then we're going to buy some chicks, which is crazy because the chickens we had gotten before were already like adults or almost adults, and these will be from babies, so it's a little nerve-wracking, but exciting too because they're so stinking cute. Who doesn't like little baby chicks? They're absolutely adorable. So we're gonna get a couple of those, and then that will again take up more time again because we got to deal with that, but I'm excited. And because they'll be in a more fortified little environment, we are hopeful that, you know, those that are predators won't be able to get to them as easily as they did this last time, which was really, really sad. So anyway, but I guess that's farm life, right? Homesteading kind of thing. I guess that's what happens. Ah, sad. Anyway, but I'm excited. I'm excited about the chickens. That'll be fun, and that's right around the corner. So that's going to keep us very busy, as well as hopefully soon spring will come. There's a flower that blossomed, and I didn't get to see it. My husband saw it, and he said, "Did you see the cute little yellow flower out front?" And I was so bummed I didn't, and it was nighttime already, so I was like, well, I'll look tomorrow. And then what happened? It snowed. It snowed. So the poor little flower is buried somewhere out there, and I really want to ask him where it's at so I can like look at it because I want to go see it. I love seeing the first flowers of spring. It's so magical. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I'd love to hear from you, and yeah, if you happen to be one of the wild few like us that live out in the country and have livestock or, you know, critters, let me know below. Tell us what critters you have. And if not, tell me the critters you'd love to have. I'd love to hear about it. And I look forward to catching up with you guys soon. And take care. Take care. Bye.